I'm Celso from Guará.ca, and today I want to talk about how I'm dealing with the environments for the very first sequence of my short film, The Muse. And I'm not gonna lie, it is vaguely inspired by Tarantino's Hateful Eight, where he opens with a sequence of landscapes and mountain shots, a few close ups that I'm not doing, and it kind of transitions to opening credits before it reveals the first group of characters. Where is it? And they spend their sweet time on this. I don't have that time. Mine is a short film. It's not a 3 hour long feature. So I gotta speed things up a little bit, but I think the idea is vaguely the same. So if you have been following the channel, you might have seen this house already. This is the very first environment that I did. And I did a full breakdown of this one. I don't remember if I showed how it looks from above, right? I made a little, let me get out of render view. So the house lives on a little island, and because my intention is not to have aerial shots of this, it's going to be mostly eye level. By placing things around it, I kind of cover the entire horizon, right? Those mountains are just grease pencil drawings that got extruded. Same thing for the clouds. Same thing for the trees, the grass, and I just layered things up and played with shaders until I got the look that I wanted. So very simple. So for this scene, all I did was rearrange parts of the house environment. I just got the mountains thrown in the back, added an outline that I didn't have, and I modeled the ground around here, but this was pretty easy. I just put a plane on the floor and start sculpting a little bit until I got this shape. Same shaders, same materials, everything else that I'm doing. And I also wanted to have an animal on this sequence. I was gonna go with birds. I might still add some birds flying, but I was gonna go with an owl or a crow just perching on a sign or something, and then it flies away after the car comes by. But then I was looking on my shelf and I saw these little 3D prints that I have. And this was a character that I did for a client actually a long time ago. I don't think they mind me reusing this a little bit. I hope not. And if I rotate around here, you're gonna see that I still have my mountains and everything on a circular fashion here. Let me go back to not render view. So I pretty much removed the house, did one single plane for the road, added the car and animated. And so I modeled the sign and a few blades of grass and positioned a couple trees. So this was like pretty easy. It took me way longer than it should because I was adjusting materials and playing around, and I don't know, it took me a whole day pretty much to do something so easy. But it's done, no complaints, moving on. So my next environment was from inside the car, the trees passing by and the environment passing by. So I position the camera inside the car and see what I can salvage from these environments. Anything that's circular going around, I would have to remodel or rearrange. So I decided to go with a circular approach too, but instead of the circle being around the environment, it would be like a cylinder going down, and this wheel would spin and the car would stay still, and from inside the car it looks like the car's driving forward. So I'd done that before on a TV show for preschool children, and it worked really well, but it worked well with the style because it gives the Tiny Planet feeling where you're always going a little bit of downhill, you're going around the ball. In this case, it doesn't fit whatsoever, but I actually did the radio array for the trees, for the mountains, and I start placing some other elements until I realized this approach wasn't gonna work. So at the end of the day, I just scrapped this idea and I set up like a straight road like I had before, but with the objects more tiled in front of each other. I'm about to do something I don't usually recommend. I'm changing techniques on the middle of something. I already did 2 sets for this sequence and I got bored and I'm not really liking how it looks for the establishing shot for the first 2 scenes where it's from far away. So I'm just gonna jump into VR and try to sculpt there instead of doing straight in Blender with grease pencil and some soft modeling how I've been doing. It doesn't make sense to do that right now, to switch up right now, but it makes sense to me because it keeps me excited and actually allows me to finish this. So let's see how it goes. It's funny, I haven't used Gravity Sketch in so long, and initially I was thrown off a little bit because I got so used to the Substance Modeler hotkeys in VR, but after I got comfortable with again, things went pretty fast, and this is definitely an approach that I'm gonna keep trying to use as much as possible because it's very enjoyable. You get into the flow state and just start making things, and Gravity Sketch actually gives you usable topology instead of just voxels and decimated meshes, so definitely something that I want to try to use more. And this one worked surprisingly well. All I did was extend the road, like I extruded the roads to make this little hill here, and applied the same materials as I had for all the other scenes, and repopulated with some trees here and there, and it kind of just worked. So this one was one of the fastest ones to make, even though I was using multiple apps. And I actually used in 2 scenes, right? Like the very first landscape and then the one where the car comes by. It's just the same scene from different angles, and I don't know, I'm digging. I think it's good enough. I will definitely add a little bit more movement afterwards, but I will keep like this for now, and I want to block the entire thing before I start refining things. But let's just take another look here without the render view, and if I turn in wireframe, and that's what I meant. The road was made in Gravity Sketch. Let me isolate this, and it has like proper topology, properly. Like I actually selected one of those loops and just made it convert it into a curve and use that for the path for the car. So there is a lot of things here that makes it more usable. The brush that I use for the mountain is not so much because it's that volume brush, but still, like, it's very editable. And I like that, and it gives more volume than the grease pencil approach that I was doing before, like more possibility of shadows and everything. So yeah, 2 thumbs up for this one. I actually enjoyed making it, and it's very simple. The style that I'm going for here, it's so simple that anything would work pretty much. I could have done this in Blender, but again, using VR for this one kept me motivated, and I actually got it done instead of procrastinating and watching shit on YouTube until I ran out of time. And that's it for this week. I got a couple days of freelancing ahead of me so I can actually pay some bills. Next week I start working on some character poses and actually blocking scenes with the characters in it. Luckily, I decided to start with the car sequence, and I have the very first scene is from inside the car. Single character, very few poses, which is gonna give me more room to play around with the workflow, see if it's worth taking everything to Cascadeur and back, and the Faceit app add-on, how all that's gonna work on a simple shot. It's actually beneficial to me. So we'll see, fingers crossed, and see you next week.